Good evening, folks. This is Brandon Morningstar with Bending Reality Magazine. I am getting the very cool privilege tonight to talk to the Vapor Brothers from the band Chains Over Razors. How's it going, fellas?
Yeah, awesome, man, awesome. And you?
Things are okay over here, I think so, to say. That's okay.
Right on.
So, can we tell the readers of Bending Reality Magazine a little bit about the band and its origin of the band's name?
Yeah, right on. About a couple years ago, our singer and my twin brother decided to reformulate and just, take a new direction with the group and, to start something fresh and new for, ourselves and something that we really just wanted to be intense with. And the name came about was actually by accident. The name actually, I don't know if you're familiar with, I believe it's the History Channel. It's not the History Channel. It might be one of those similar channels, but they had a show called Taboo Taboo. And one day my brother and I were watching an episode that had to do with body suspension and scarring and all sorts of
People laying on like nails and stuff,
right.
and walking on it or something like
And
that.
there was one person they're showing that was literally sitting, hanging from chain over, I don't remember if it was glass, and then they had another guy who was laying on, like, who was walking on nails or something like that? Some weird, bizarre thing, and by accident it was like Chains Over Razors. I can't remember exactly how it came up with it while we were watching the episode. At the time we really didn't think about it as being a band name, but out of like a list of band names, like, for some reason we just remembered that, and we're like, well, what if we use that as a band name? That would be pretty cool. And that's kind of how it came about. It was just a weird, strange circumstance of watching a weird. It was actually the National Geographic Channel.
Oh, yeah.
Taboo Taboo on National Geographic Channel, which is, I don't think the show's on anymore. If it is, I don't know what time slot they moved to, but that's how it came about.
So it would be fair to say that maybe you guys corrupted the National Geographic Channel so bad with your band name that they said, you know what, we can't put this show on TV anymore.
Yeah, I think they're like, those three weirdos are worse than anything you could possibly imagine. So if they're that bad, then I guess our show was too PG.
The funny thing though is that every time I think of Chains Over Razors, I think of like an intense street brawl about to happen.
Right. Some
Okay.
people with knives versus people with like acid chains and sunk and just beating the crap out of each other. It would be odd if it was playing with like Michael Jackson tunes in the background.
Oh Lord, we don't need to bring Michael into the interview now.
Out.
Yeah, now we'll just leave Michael out of the interview.
No problem.
Um,
Jesus.
how about you tell the readers where you guys are from?
We're from Chicago, Illinois, and our lead singer is from Montreal, Canada, and we've been together a band since. I mean, we just have a musical connection with each other, and have a strong, like-minded goal with what we do, and a brotherhood. And being two of us brothers, everything just fell to place that way, and we don't allow borders or anything like that get in our way. When it's time to work, we're all in the same place together, and we crank away. Whether we got to rehearse for a tour or recording a record, we just know how to work together. It's been most people find it very interesting, like, oh, how does somebody in Canada, how does that work? And it's like, well, power of technology today has eliminated what we call the illusion of a border.
Right.
And you can, it's a lot easier to send, an idea of a song over the internet for someone to hear instead of shipping a real tape. But still, when we do write, we just have this instinct of what the other guy will probably be doing or where he'll enter in and out in the song. So it's like we just have that intuition musically with each other. So, I mean, it's never been difficult at all for us. It's just so natural. So, and we've been kicking it since, man.
Right. Okay. What would you guys say, or who would you guys say, I should say, that your sound sort of emanates? Like, is there a band that stands out that you could say your sound is similar to, or you try to take it to make it your own that influences you somehow?
Our influence has been very diverse. I mean, we listen to all styles of music, and generally we just tell anybody who's curious of what we are that we just say heavy rock, metal, and we keep it that general because sometimes you could try to describe and maybe give an idea of a band to somebody, and immediately they'll think, oh, well, then you sound like that band, even though you're not necessarily saying you sound like that band. So we try to keep it general because we're very diverse on the record, and we're going to continue to be very diverse in our writing in the future. So, I mean, yeah, we have many, many influences, whether it's metal, rock, or country music, or pop, or blues, or however you want to look at it. But we prefer to keep it general, just so that way anyone going in listening to our record is immediately not going to expect a certain style from a group or something. So that's the way we usually go about it.
Okay. Who would you say the biggest of all your influences that you have that you just mentioned in various different genres? Who would you say is the biggest?
Wow. I know for me, one of the biggest, and this is Andy, for me, one of the biggest is the Beatles. I've always been a huge Beatles fan. Everybody's like, what? The Beatles? Yeah, absolutely love the Beatles. Um, in terms of classic rock bands, I like the Led Zeppelin. Can't go wrong. Get the lead out.
For sure.
Can I just say Kenny G?
Sure.
Holland and dude, Holland and Oates. That's where it's at.
Being that you're from disturbed country, so to speak, would you say that they've had an impact on your musical career so far in any way?
An impact? I don't know if they had an impact on our career itself, because anything that's within the Disturbed family is mainly around them. I don't know if it's in any way branches out to support anyone else in the entertainment industry. Speaking of, I mean,
It definitely represents Chicago, that's for sure.
yeah, it definitely represents Chicago as as the band they are, and they're a great band. I love Disturbed. But as far as does it support like a specific artist to where they're at? I'm not too sure if it does or it doesn't.
Okay. Um, hmm. Let let's talk about um, inspiration for lyrics. What do you think are some of the things that help inspire the writing process? Is it like just sitting back and talking about it? Is there like something like on TV that maybe inspires it, some of the lyrics? What would you say inspires a lot of the writing processes and the lyrics that get written?
This is Mike. I definitely experience has been a major factor in everything that we've written. Um, whether we all three of us come together and collaborate, from experience, or any one of us three had a story to share. Clearly, I can't talk, but for example, "Damnation" is a song that was inspired by a meeting of a soldier that I've met, came back from Afghanistan, and he had shrapnel in his head, in his leg, in his side by his rib, part of his leg, a chunk of his muscle was missing in his leg, and was dealing with chronic migraines from the shrapnel in his head and couldn't get treatment. And angered me to hear this, that here, our own government is, shipping out our friends and family, and when they come back, they get no support or help whatsoever. And this guy tried to do everything in his power to get help, and he just never got it. And I thought it was, these words were just constantly repeating in my head when we were in the studio recording and writing the record. And it was something that I felt needed to be addressed, and finally bring a voice to for the soldiers, um, who, to give them a voice to speak out about what they've been dealing with. And outside of just meeting that one soldier, there were many others that I've met, and I started hearing this pattern of anger from them, of not getting help and or treatment and being denied, and how they felt that we should not be there, we shouldn't be in war, and that's where the lyrical content for Damnation came into play. And you know, for us, it was a way of writing that's giving them the voice, and also to let them know that, hey, we do care. We are here. You are our heroes, and we're here to help you. And
Right.
that's where that song has come from, and was the most recent video and single that we just dropped a couple weeks ago. If you get a chance, check out the video. It's awesome, man. And I'm glad to hear how it's being very well received, and definitely stirring up the pot out there.
So would it be fair to say that that song and your message for soldiers is to basically tell leadership of our country, you've really dropped the freaking ball, and it's a damn
Yeah,
shame that you've dropped
absolutely.
the ball.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
the song it definitely addresses that, and it's clear too when you're actually hearing three stories in the one song. It's three separate stories that tie together from that particular serviceman or woman's point of view. So it's a very interesting song. It can be definitely taken political, and I encourage people to listen to it and deep. It's definitely got a message in its story, and anybody who hears it is gonna be like, yeah, that
Yep.
pretty much sums it up in
And you're right,
3.5
man.
minutes.
Yeah, you said it best. That the government dropped the ball for sure.
Well,
Absolutely.
well, judging by my non-prejudicial ears when it comes to your album, I must say I can definitely tell there's a lot of passion that comes out in your lyrics as well as your sheet music, and it's just everything is so well written and intricate.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, we're extremely passionate about what we do, and that's us. Without music, we might as well be putting the Looney Bin in a padded room and tie it, because then we would go absolutely nuts. So that it's definitely a release for us.
Right. Um, what would you guys say, or how would you guys answer the question when you're not playing music and you're just trying to unwind and not think about music? What do you do just to chill?
Oh man, usually I'm either staring at a wall and doing nothing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's so ingrained to us. It's so difficult to try to shut that off.
Yeah,
And I mean, being just in this industry, you're constantly at the grind. So even when you have the downtime, it's like you're still working no matter what.
yeah.
And I mean, sometimes just meeting up with friends, and family helps to break away from it for a little bit and not think about it. But there's always that moment where it comes back at you, and it's almost like OCD, I guess. You can never really get away from it. It's a drug, man.
Right.
I
Okay.
hope that answered your question.
It does. It does. My the next question is, when you decided that you were going to start your band and get it together, was your family supportive of this decision?
No, they thought we were crazy. I mean, our our family is from the old country, so they grew up with a whole different um, upbringing. I mean, they lived on farms, and when they came to the states and finding work, and as hard workers as they are, uh, to them music wasn't the idea of actually a music business. Just never really registered with them. It definitely took years for them to understand, and I think sometimes they still misunderstand it. But I think they've grown to understand more how it works, and have been definitely have definitely been more acceptive of it, but at first it was almost like being practically like shut out. Like, you know, you've been what's that word? I guess excommunicated. It was like, what? You want to do what? Get out, you know. So it definitely has changed over the years, but at first it was definitely a challenge. You
Okay.
know, instead of being like, you know, an engineer or a doctor, you know, having this great vision that their kids are gonna be a president of the United States, and instead we're fucking rockers.
Right. Uh,
We challenge the system.
you
We don't
challenge.
go along with the system.
You're, so it would be fair to say that since you're twin brothers, that it was a collective black sheep effort,
Oh yeah, yeah. We just have to figure out who wanted to play what instrument first.
right?
It's black sheep to the second power at
Yeah.
that point.
Black sheep squared.
Yeah. Well, it was like one is bad, but two, oh God help me.
Uh, this is one question I've never asked siblings in a band, so I'm going to ask it to you guys since you're twin brothers. Is does there ever get a point where you think, dude, really? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're playing cranking out a riff or you're writing lyrics and then all of a sudden one says to the other, "What in the hell are you thinking?" Is there
Yeah,
any
that's
kind of that
a lot.
from time to time?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of that. It's like, what? The best part about it though is that those moments are actually awesome moments, and a lot of that was captured on the album. So what would seem a little outrageous or a mistake ended up molding things because it was that, you know, being spontaneous. And that was one of the things when going and recording and writing this record, we wanted to, as they say, in the old school days, tape is always rolling, so you never know when that magic would happen. So yeah, there was a lot of that, but in a very positive way. But there have been times where it was like, dude, what the hell was that, man? Like, totally missed it, you know?
Right,
So, you know, so I mean, you get a little best of both worlds, but we laugh it off, you
right.
know? You know, it's like delete.
So everything is amicable in that sense. It's not hostile or heated.
No, it's definitely not hostile or heated. It's more like fun enjoyment of like, what the hell did you just come up with? And it's like, I don't know, but you need to figure it out.
Right?
It's like, okay, I'll do it, and then I'll try to do my thing, and then even twist it up even more, and then he'll be like, man, serious? Now I gotta like retool my thing to make it like work.
Yeah.
You know,
We always want to keep it a fun environment. I mean, that's our release and our outlet. And, you know, the stress throughout the day, no matter what it is, you know, we come to work together and write and record to get away from that
Right?
and have it released. So if we didn't make it fun, then you know, it would be miserable.
Right?
I don't think anything would get done, you know, it'd just be all groggy.
Right?
But that's what makes us feel better. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
we have been in bands in the past before we started that. We're like, man, you know, meeting up in the same room feels like I'm clocking in, and that's what we wanted to make sure, especially with when we retooled and became Chains Over Razors, that was never going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to be work.
Uh, of the 12 songs that are on your album, is there one that you're proud of more than the rest? Or would you say that's just
Ooh.
they're all the same, that you love them all the same?
that's a great question. This is Andy here. There's not one over the other because each song has some sort of unique elements stylistically and instrumentally and technical ability that's being played that's such a signature part of that specific song that you couldn't put it one over the other. One song might have a weird chaotic feel to it, where another one might have like a really trashy, laid back feel to it. But the way each one is done is so drastically different that it's difficult to put one over another. It'd be almost impossible. I mean, I could see that happening if each song was like very repetitive. Like, let's say from a drum standpoint, if each song was repetitively very similar, the same, then yes, overall you can look at it the way. But since each song does nothing that's regurgitated that's the same, that it's just too unique in each aspect of each song to kind of make that determination.
Yeah, this is Mikey over here. Yeah, I mean everything always feels fresh, but definitely I would say throughout the recording and writing, and even after we finished the record, you know, there are songs where like you might listen to one more than the other, or throughout the time, you know, you grew to love that song as it was created. And I still find myself listening to the record and switching up what my favorite is, you know, of the month. It's just a mood thing that makes me gravitate to a song. So I would have to go with that. All of them equally, definitely.
Well, in this writer and radio DJ's opinion, there's not one bad song. There's no, because there are some mainstream artists that put out a great album, but there's only three or four good songs. This album, from start to finish, there is great stuff from start to finish. I don't think there's any letdown in any of the songs.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, when we were writing, I mean, we really treated that as if each song was its own. I know that a lot of bands, depending on time frame, that they might have a few that they really put their all into it, and then just have to kind of just write whatever to fill out a record. And you know, it does show, and there are a lot of bands that hear that with. We wanted to make sure that, you know what, track 1 to track 12, it took you on a ride, and you know, we took that care. I mean, it personally reflects us. So we treated each song as its own entity before putting it all together. So that really, like I said, it shows, and that care went into it. You know, just from everything, writing to what the song is even about. It's just a very personal thing for all of us.
Right. What do you see in the what do you see in the next 6 months for your band? Do you see yourselves getting back to writing some more, or do you plan on going on the road a little? What's next in the next 3 to 6 months for you guys?
I would say both. You know, we're definitely, you know, tooling around with new ideas and stuff like that, but we definitely like to go back out and play and perform for people, you know, in 6 to 8 months as well, too. You know, sometimes you just need to take a break from both and just get out there and just kind of soak the world up a bit, you know, and that can help inspire something for the songs that you're writing. But definitely both. I know typically, you know, we like to take, you know, time of doing a little bit of one and then the other. It can be difficult if you're constantly jumping back and forth. It can be very, and you know, personally for me, be constructive. If it's too much jumping back and forth, you know, typically if we're going to be working and writing ideas, I like to spend a couple months doing that. Then kind of prep to go back out on the road and then come back and do that again.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we definitely want to get out and continue supporting our record, absolutely, and performing it, definitely.
In your local hometown and backyard, where is your favorite place to play?
Oh, I would say House of Blues in Metro Chicago.
Yeah, Metro. I mean, it just pounds in that place. I mean, it's awesome, but it's also so close to the crowd. They're like right there with you, so there's a tighter connection with the audience. You could just catch the vibe off of them that you're pretty much experiencing what you were experiencing when you wrote the song. Whereas, you know, some bigger stages are such a gap. But I definitely would say Metro. I mean, that place is just legendary, and it's just awesome. If you get a chance, if you're ever in Chicago, check out a show at the Metro.
Well, as long as you guys are there, I'll definitely make sure I'm there for it.
We'll fly you in.
Um, on a global scale, where's the dream arena, and what is the dream arena that you guys would love to play at?
I would love to play in my hometown. Yeah, my hometown, Allstate Arena here in Rosemont, Illinois, which is maybe about 5 minutes away from Chicago. I've seen concerts there when it was called the Rosemont Horizon, and I've seen some of my favorite artists there, and it would just be a dream to walk out in in that arena and just perform. I would love to be there just to,
Represent.
yeah.
I would say that a second place, man, who wouldn't love to play Wembley Stadium? That's a huge stadium. I know Foo Fighters have sold that place out 3 days in a row.
How about
And
Castle Donington? That would be a great one,
or
too.
Castle Donington would be amazing. I mean, just massive, massive arenas.
Past or present, who would you guys love to tour with?
Oh man, everybody.
Yeah.
Past. Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains, definitely. With Wayne Staley. When he was alive, that'd be absolutely amazing.
I'm trying to think who would I want to. There's so many. I can't even think. Definitely the girls Drain FTH.
That's a great band.
Yeah,
Too bad they're not around anymore.
I'd love to tour with them.
4 Swedish babes. You gotta check them out. It's called Drain STH. They
Oh,
rock.
I'll have to give them a
They're
look.
hot and they can jam.
They came out right before Kitty.
Oh,
So
Kitty.
yeah, so it would be right around the time grunge was like exploding, and these four girls were they were a bit ahead of their time in my opinion. They were heavy grungy, but they were extremely heavy though, and and right when they were breaking up, I think that's when Kitty exploded.
Yeah.
Well, then somebody will just have to type that into me so I can check it out. But here's one for you guys. If you're talking about bands like that with chicks, I have one for you guys to check out. They're a band out of Sweden. They're called Crucified Barbara. They they ha-
And
they have the look that make heavy makeup, almost goth look of Kitty, but the sound of Hailstorm.
that's interesting.
I mean,
That's awesome.
I mean, I, I could definitely send a tune or two, or even I could send you like albums, like or even a handful of songs, just so y'all can check them out. I mean, they are just wow.
Yeah, please. I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, I'll probably pick them up on iTunes.
Because well, when I go to iTunes, I can help you. I can send them to you. Don't spend the money on iTunes that you don't have to.
I'm always about supporting, so I have no problem paying iTunes to pay for my music properly and support back to the bands. I'm all about that.
Oh, so am I.
And
I'm just saying I could save you some
and
money.
and if Tim Cook, if you're listening, I would love to fan out some music. Thank you.
I think what kind of trying to say is that he's gonna buy it for us. Wink, wink.
Yeah, he caught on to it. I can purchase. Wink, wink.
Nice.
What some people say, why should I, or ask why I should listen to certain bands. So I'm going to ask that question on behalf of the Bending Reality of readers. Why should people check out Chains Over Razors that sets them apart from other indie bands in their area?
Because we actually represent the 99% that we're all fighting against the 1%.
Perfect.
That is a good answer.
That's the best way I can put it. We are part of the 99%, and it's time for all of us to speak up and take back what is slowly being, taken away from us. We have to take a stand. And a lot of times, some artists touch upon it, Multiple Messiah way. We absolutely did not do that on this record. We're blunt about it. And
Yeah.
it's straightforward. And if you listen to it and hear it, you'll be able to relate to it because you're going to be like, yeah, it's about that time someone said something, and I'm not the only one saying it.
We just want to put the big middle finger up in the air.
And wave it around like you just don't care.
Yeah,
You got it.
you know it, man. So you should get it.
One of the last questions. Some I've let other people check out you guys' music when I've been talking to them, and people ask one of the most common ones with the song titles. They wanted to know the story behind the song "Subtle Words."
Oh, great question. This kind of relates to part of the issues dealing with equal rights, and from equal rights to depression to
Cyberbullying.
The big thing is that there's always like those campaigns where you hear support, donations and stuff like that, and people talk about it and then they just kind of put it off to the side like it's not existent. And the thing with subtle words and talking about is pretty much that as much as we do that as a society, everybody is dealing with that issue, but everybody is so quiet, keeping it behind closed doors on like, you know what, that is not me, that's everybody else, and that doesn't apply to me. And if they really look at it, it applies to everybody, just everybody's afraid to say something about it. Because they don't want to feel like they're lumped into, a particular group of people that's, separate from everybody else. And it's a problem that I see more and more going on. There shouldn't be fear of who you are. There shouldn't be fear of you wanting to do what you want to do. You shouldn't have to be conforming to what society expects you to be, what other people want you to be. For example, you shouldn't have to, be this way, dress a certain way because they say that is what is normal. And what is normal? There is no such thing as normal. And everybody's put on this, like I call it a conveyor belt path, where you go down this path, and if you go, let's say, in a particular work industry, this is how you got to be, this is how you got to act, this is how you got to dress, this is how you got to look, this is how you have to speak. And it's such a weird controlling thing if you look at it from a global point of view, that you just see how we're all sectioned off like that, and that's where what we're really talking about in that song.
And it really did get inspired. There was, a couple of years ago, there was the agenda that was going on with a lot of students with committing suicide because of cyberbullying of who they are, and it's just not right, man. So that inspired Subtle Words to be written.
Right. To inspire those that don't want to shouldn't feel that they have to conform into a demographic.
Yeah. And and those that are depressed and being bullied, stay strong, right? And there are people out there that have your back.
Right. And I just want to say I totally picked up on that vibe by just how you explained it. I've listened to that song probably a lot, and I've actually, in the work I do outside the magazine and outside the radio, I've actually been using that song to help people lift themselves, like as a lift, just to show them that, like a
That's
self-esteem boost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely why it was written. So nobody feels isolated, right?
Because if you're feeling isolated, really everybody is feeling isolated. It's just some are willing to speak about it, and a lot of people are not.
Yeah.
And the ones that do say something about it, those are the ones that are usually attacked or pointed the finger at or bullied, because really they got the right agenda, is to create the awareness that, hey, you're not alone. These problems do exist.
Yeah.
And stand up.
And it's just sad to see, when somebody is down, they, others will keep on kicking. So it definitely is a voice for them. So we understand. We've all had a point in our life where we experienced it. And some just don't get the help to get picked back up and get that help. So this is our way of saying, hey, we are listening, just
Right.
as the lyrics say. Is anybody out there? Is anyone listening?
Right. Well, with y'all's permission, there's this thing that I'm doing that I haven't that you guys are finding out about it first, and then I'm going to drop it to every other band that I'm talking to. I'm in the process of going to put together this really cool collaboration and an CD together, and eventually maybe try to sell it. It's gonna be called Shout Out to Motivating, and that I'd like to include that song in that album.
Cool. Awesome.
If that's okay with you guys to use that song as part of
Yeah.
that CD.
Let us. We definitely have to clear, obviously, the music business part, right? We
Right.
gotta clear. We gotta clear things with our label, but just get us the information.
Yeah. It's in the early stages of planning, but yeah, I would love to include that song in it. I mean, I'd probably make it a double album just because there with that song along with others, I think it would just make a really good message to those that
Uh,
struggle with their
yeah.
voice, and it's just a
Get us. The information. We'll definitely talk to our label. And have it presented.
alrighty then.
So, of course, we have to play this political game, but
Right.
that's just how it is.
I,
So
oh, I
yeah, let us know.
Oh, I definitely will. I mean, I think that song, along with others that I have in mind, will help people. I think it's just like I said, to help those that struggle with their inner voice, and it'll lift them up to stop being s- stop being silent and motivate them to say, you know what, I do have a voice, and it's going to be heard.
Yeah, definitely. And those people are the stronger people, in my opinion, because they're the ones that actually create the change. It's the best thing I could think of is with Steve Jobs. With his quote, "Those who are considered crazy are the ones who could change the world."
Right? The ones that want to shake up the world and make change are always called extremists or something else, and I'm so tired of that word, extremist, or because
I think the new one's called terrorist.
well, yeah, that too, but that's it's like
Depending on how you consider it, you know.
right,
I mean, just look at what's going on with Snowden.
it's
He blew the lid off on something, and now he's considered a terrorist.
Yeah,
I mean, a man with no country.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
and yeah, yeah, exactly. The ones who are crazy are the ones who are crazy enough to think that are the ones who are crazy enough that can actually change the world.
Yeah.
Those are the ones who do.
Well, don't get me wrong. There are those other terrorists, which yeah, we got to take them out. But I think the way this country has gone, it almost feels like they consider domestic domestically that we're all like terrorists. So it's like you're walking on eggshells as it is. Stand up for something, well, they can attack your phone and try to find out who you are. You're automatically dangerous. If you're standing up for something. So I don't know. I get that vibe sometimes out of it, but I'm not going for anarchy or anything.
anarchy rules.
But right? You're right. You be considered an extremist, and it's I don't know. I think that's ridiculous.
Okay, one last question, and then we're gonna just keep it simple. We're gonna keep it simple, because my interviewer. I need to give my editor something to laugh at as she's editing. Because the last interview she did, she said she was having a good old time just listening to everything we were talking about outside the interview. The last question. What can fans of Chains Over Razors expect to hear in the next album? Is it going to be heavier? Is it going to stay the same? Or should I let me ask it better. Do you think there'll be the Chains Over Razors fans will feel that the next album is a sophomore slump to this one?
Yeah, we want to step it up a notch.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's definitely gonna go. It's definitely gonna be
we're gonna
the
push
next
it even.
step.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna push ourselves even harder and try to outdo what we did. Absolutely. So I think outside of this record, when we come out with the next one, once again, I like to say, hope you're wearing your diapers because you will shit yourself.
And we'll make sure to package it with baby wipes so you can clean yourself up.
Well, just make sure I get extra comfy and extra roomy Depends. That's all I ask.
Oh my god. Yeah, like I said on this first record, I hope you're wearing your diapers when you hear it. So, same thing again with the next one. Hope you're wearing your diapers.
Okay. Well, that's the interview, guys. So thank you. Now, com- completely off the record, since we're talking about stuff about empowering people, I want you guys to. I'm gonna drop the link to my personal website too. But I want your opinion on this, and I have my my website. I have a philosophy, I have my mission statement, and I have my disclaimer. Okay, I'm going to read you the philosophy part first, and these are all random things with me. Okay, the philosophy is simply it says, live life on no one's terms except your own. If you're comfortable in your own skin, don't conform or compromise that for anyone. If the normal people, in quotes, don't get you, chances are they're clueless and need to move on.
Wow,
That's pretty cool.
wow, that's awesome.
Now, my mission statement. It says, I hope to bring voices to those who can't speak for themselves, for those that have always been told that they're not good enough, for those that want to challenge authority, promote change, and not be afraid to speak their mind, refusing to be told that's not right, in quotations, for those that refuse to be complacent. To teach others respect is earned and not automatically given. For those that say, you know what, I'm happy with who I am and what I stand for, who are you to tell me I'm wrong? In layman's terms, take a walk. I'm not interested. Stay true to yourself and hold your head high, knowing that absolutely no one, and I put that in caps and underscored it and bolded it, will hold you down or tell you what that. Hold on here. I'm not interested. Stay true to yourself and hold your head high, knowing that absolutely no one will hold you down or tell you that you're not worth it because you are worth it and much more.
Cool. I like that.
wouldn't change anything about that either, man.
Yes.
I feel like you're another member of Chains Over Razors.
Well, wait. Now here's this here's the lighter part of it. My disclaimer: I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible if you find my opinions or values disagree with yours. I'm just a blip on the radar of Earth, like you. That said, sit back, have fun, relax, and don't take life so damn serious.
Yeah, man. I like everything you've told me. I mean, it's just so damn true. So damn true.
Yep,
I give you 2 thumbs up, man.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Please.
So, again, guys, thank you. I think I've got this one under control. The phone cooperated this time. Yay.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
so, Andy, I will get you. Do you want just general ideas like for the again, like you did with before? Make them your own.
Yeah, just send us what you need us to do, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, and have fun with them. I mean, I'm telling every band, just because the script says certain things doesn't mean it has to say that exact thing.
Yeah, exactly. We just want it as like a guy, like even if you script something out, at least we have something to look at as a guideline, and then that way we can utilize that to make it our own for
Right.
you. So that way it's customized, but at least it gives us a direction of what to work with.
And I'm going to let you know this is something else too that I wanted to tell you about the magazine. Me and the editor and slash co-owner of it talked about it today. What there are going to be 4 bands featured in the magazine a month with all. So I'm with me doing at least one interview a week, maybe more. It just depends on my schedule. That since we had to reschedule this and redo this, I'm going to push hard to get this all together for her. So I think in the October issue of Bending Reality that I'll have this interview and everything in it. So when the issue is ready to be sent out, you guys will be able to check it out
Awesome. That'll be great.
in the magazine. And I now have a YouTube channel with all my band interviews that'll be put on there. So
Awesome.
that'll be another promotional tool that I'll be able to go with you guys too. And of course, the rough cut of the week thing got that fully endorsed today by my new station's owner. He said, do whatever I want with it. He said I can use the station's page to promote whatever. Like I said, you guys are more than welcome to use my rough cut of the week page on Facebook to promote anything band related, whether it be new albums, like you said about new single dropping, anything of that nature, anything you guys want to share and drop in that group, you are more than welcome to use.
Cool. That'd be awesome.
So, with that, I'm gonna get off of the phone. I've got a football game to watch here in about an hour. I know you guys are gonna probably pick on me because I'm a Cowboys fan, but
No,
yeah.
they're not gonna pick on you at all. Their cheerleaders are hot.
Exactly.
It's just their team isn't all that great. Cheerleaders work.
You said it. I didn't.
Well, it's been a rough 10 or 12 years with Tony Romo as the quarterback.
Oh, that's funny.
Guys, thank you again for your time
Thank you.
tonight, and we'll talk again soon.
You got it, Ben. Talk to you later, dude.
All right, guys, bye.